Good to see you again. You're hanging out in my Airbnb back there, where I've been
Yep.
staying lately. Your home office also doubles as a place where I sleep often, so it's good to see you there.
Yeah. Finally kicked you out. You're on the road again, somewhere in LA,
I'm
and
right
you got
near
to
Santa
stress.
Clarita, as you know, right near it.
Yeah, just right around the corner.
Yeah.
You're having a stressful day. You text me. You're like, we got to do the show right now. You are watching. Currently, we're recording this during the Atlanta Braves' second game to potentially go to the playoffs. And you're stressed. You're really stressed. And you're like, just get the show started. We didn't even talk before the show. You just said, hit
I really
record.
just said,
Just
let's go,
go.
let's do this. You're gonna like capture real emotion in me throughout this show. If something happens on this TV behind me, Mike, let me know because I need to pay attention to this. The
Yeah,
Braves
I'll
are in the
let you know.
second game of this doubleheader. So they play in Atlanta. There was a hurricane there last week, so they had two games rained out. The last week of the season. Today's supposed to be a rest day. The playoffs start tomorrow. Season ended yesterday. All of a sudden, the Braves, my team, who has been hurt all year, underperforming all year, now has to play a doubleheader against their rival, the New York Mets. Two games, doubleheader today. Mike, if they win the second game, that's great. That's exciting. Then they have to fly to San Diego tonight and play tomorrow in a 3-game series in a row, 3 days in a row. It's so crazy. And if that's not enough for everyone, after this game, the Dolphins with their future quarterback is playing on Monday Night Football, and I gotta watch Tyler Huntley dial up some offense for us.
It could be an amazing day for you. All your teams could win, or all your teams could lose, and then you have nothing to root for
Both of those
anymore.
things are
And
still in play, which is
yeah,
crazy. Highly emotional. By the way, the first game of this doubleheader, I know this is too much baseball talk for people, but
it's a lot of
It
baseball to
was
fall
like
asleep.
Georgia Alabama college football. The win probability was swinging all over. The Braves were 90% winners, and then the Mets were 90% winners. Then the Braves were 90% winners. Then the Mets won the game. It was so crazy. And Mike, this is a Monday afternoon. Supposed to be working. There's no work being done in this room today.
There's no work. You've had a lot. You've been taking time off. You have a big hole in your foot. Things are happening. You have no
There's a lot.
home. There's a lot of stuff
There's really
going
a
on.
lot going on. Might be moving soon. But hey, I know you're excited too because your
What?
boy, Rasheed Rice, is off the field. You have
I
been
know. Finally,
against this man.
I
He is a
know.
criminal in your mind. You have been wanting him suspended, and now he's got the torn ACL, Mike.
Yeah, I don't like the way he went out. It was kind of like just by running in what's his name,
Into Mahomes,
Mahomes. Yeah,
his
just
friendly
his helmet.
fire.
Like it's kind of crazy though that that little helmet hit on your knee could just do that to you. Because
I
it didn't
know.
seem that bad. When you watch the video, it didn't look that bad. Like on the replay, it's kind of like, okay, like seems like a normal hit.
Are you conspiracy theorying here? Are you saying Goodell called in
Ooh.
an injury to make it look like he got hurt, but he's actually suspended for the rest of the
Wow.
year?
I do like that conspiracy. I didn't even think about that. That could be in play, right? Yeah. And he's actually suspended, but he's actually on the injury reserve or something.
Yeah,
I like that
yeah.
a lot. Yeah, that's good. All right. We got a lot to talk about. I have like a whole bunch of stats from this weekend. We have games. You have to issue an apology to Purdy fans at some point when we get to that section. We're gonna get to the Hangover
Oh, they
Hotline. We
beat
have
hang on, they beat the Patriots, so now the Purdy fans are correct. Okay.
we had a lot. We had a lot of clips go out last week about Purdy and maybe him not being that great. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But in the Hangover Hotline, I have a ton
Okay.
of comments from your Purdy take last week. But this week, I have some great stats for you if you want to listen real quick. So
Yeah.
here are the stats. So NFL underdogs this weekend went 10-3 against the spread. As you can tell, we're not doing so good in our pick'em pools right now. In our Sports Hangover pick'em pool, it's not a tie, but it's a potential tie if Miami covers tonight. Between two people that I do not think are sharp, Ingle and Yossi. Shout out to them in the Sports Hangover League. Not the sharpest sharps
I didn't
better
know
wise.
Ingle was still in this. Ingle is
Yeah.
not the brightest football mind. Ingle, if you're listening, you are the funnest person I know. You're just not the brightest football guy.
Can I actually read his text message to you real
Yeah,
quick?
that's
He
perfect.
is
Hangover
so
hotline.
he's so into this. He's like, yeah, lots of research, but sometimes too much, which makes me overthink my picks. I've gone too hard or what I originally thought. Had Baltimore initially, then flipped. He's betting like this to cover his college bets because he's doing so well in the NFL. That's what he told me. This is like his long text.
So he's losing
in.
money in college. He's doing well
Yeah.
in NFL. So he thinks like that's gonna work out like long term. Is that what he's
He
thinking?
does think, yeah, he thinks it's going to work out for him.
Okay.
He's doing great. So he's doing a lot of research.
Yeah.
I appreciate it because a lot of times when I text somebody, say, hey, how are you picking all these picks? Everybody says just vibes. And that is not what I like to ever hear.
Mike
And
does not like that answer. Whenever you
No.
tell Mike it's vibes, he really gets mad at the situation. He's trying to
I
pull
really do.
information out of us at all times. So any nugget you get is always appreciated.
Okay. Guess me this. This is a fun stat. The least profitable QB on the road since 2020. There's out of 106 QBs, there are 3 listed here currently that have played since 2020. Can you even name 3 of them on
Least
this list?
profitable, the ones who lose the most on the road?
Yeah,
Matthew Stafford is one of those people.
he's not on that list.
He lost yesterday,
Not-
so that's why I thought.
I'll-
Is Aaron
I'll give you
Rodgers
the-
on the list?
Aaron Rodgers is not on the list. I'm going to give you in best to worst, I guess. So 21% the cover on the road. Russell Wilson.
That's terrible.
And then
percentage,
we
by the way.
have what?
That's a terrible percentage. He doesn't
know.
cover 4 out of 5 times on the road.
Yeah.
Like, not even straight up, just doesn't cover.
Yeah. And then we have Tom Brady on the road. He's 23%. And then the newest addition to the list, Jalen Hurts, which we saw this weekend not perform very well against the Bucks. And we don't know what's going on there, but he is now on top of he is leading the list of the least profitable NFL quarterbacks on
Mike,
the road.
it's even worse if that's a domestic list because he went to Brazil and won. So you can take a win away from him on the road right there and make it even
true.
worse for Jalen Hurts. The Eagles seem like they're in disarray again. I know they're banged up on offense, so it's hard to judge them. It's only September. Not super worried about them. I am worried about their coaching staff. They seem incompetent. They
Doesn't look
lose.
good.
They make bad decisions. Jalen Hurts has a lot of comments about Sirianni. So that seems bad. Tom Brady yesterday, by the way, he mentioned one of the biggest factors on why he went to the Bucks was the weather. So it's not surprising that he was not covering on the road as much, especially later in his career in some tough weather places.
You did see that list where he thought about the Chicago Bears and stuff it's like, who knew all those were on the table at the time? I think that would have been a whole different franchise if he went. He probably would have won them a Super Bowl for sure if he went to Chicago.
Remember that era? We thought maybe the Niners were in play because he was like from San Francisco area. The Dolphins, we really wanted him. The Raiders were always talked about. And he did a lot of free agency visits. That was kind of a fun time. There's no one like on that level because like Aaron Rodgers sucks. Like he literally sucks. And he's not on that level of Tom Brady. So there's no like active legend in the game, I feel like right now.
Well, no one that's going to like go tour and just like check out different team franchise, be like, do I want to play here? Like, how's the weather? How's all this? Like, no one has that option right now. Dak possibly could have been that one, but I don't put him anywhere near Tom Brady's level.
Mike, someone this offseason is about to have that option. They're going to go on a huge tour, a quarterback who's going to go on a huge tour, and he's going to sign for a massive amount of money. It's my big dick energy of the week. It's Sam Darnold, who's going to be a free agent after this year, after he potentially wins MVP, potentially wins Super Bowl. Don't get ahead of ourselves, but it might be possible on both accounts. He's going to be a free agent, and I think he's going to get paid one of these massive Trevor Lawrence deals. If Trevor Lawrence gets $200 million and Tua gets $200 million, this version of Sam Darnold should get $200 million.
So I had my bullshit or believe. Do you think Sam Darnold is going to the Super Bowl this year? Like, bullshit or believe, is he going to the Super Bowl? Because that's where I think he's going. Right now, he's the only undefeated team, right?
I mean, is that the only one left?
I think that's the only one left.
The 72 Dolphins only have one more that has to lose. The
We
Chiefs are
have
4-0.
we have the Seahawks, but they're playing tonight, so we don't know where
And the
they're
Chiefs,
at.
so bad stat.
Yeah, and the Chiefs.
I don't know. I think what team were you just mentioning? You got me off there. Sam Darnold. You're talking about. No, the Vikings will not. You threw like 4 teams out.
I know.
Sam Darnold and the Vikings will not win the Super Bowl because I'm looking around the NFC and there's some other good teams there. I picked the Packers and Jordan Love to potentially win the Super Bowl. He threw 3 picks yesterday, but he had 4 touchdowns. So maybe they'll be surging better at the end of the season. The Eagles do exist. Cowboys and Dak. We're gonna see them up close in like virtual reality this week. That'll be crazy for the Cowboys.
I'm excited about that.
I don't know. I'm not ready to say the Vikings are going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I'm ready to say this man is going to win the division and cash out for $200 million. That's what I'll say.
I like that. I also have some other stats. I just want to throw these out here real quick while we get into it. As a 3-point favorite or less, Lamar is now 24-5 against the spread. So he does pretty well when he's a favorite of 3 or less or an underdog.
So when he is not really expected to play great or perform well, he kind of steps up. So he kind of builds through some adversity there. I wasn't surprised that they were so much better last night, the Ravens. I feel like that 1-2 start was not indicative of who they are. They lost to the Chiefs early in the season. They lost to the Raiders in a weird game. The Ravens are fine. The Ravens might be the best team in the NFL. If I asked you right now who's going to win the Super Bowl, the Ravens are right there, don't you think?
I don't know. They're too up and down, right? They're only perform really well, like in the regular season. Also, like it looked like they were trying to murder Josh Allen last night. Like that boy was taking way too many hits. Like I did not like my
every
MVP
time. He is
doing
so
that.
tough though.
He is. He really is. Did you see that one where He fumbled the ball, then got tackled by a linebacker, like 300 pounds, just tackled him to the ground. I thought he was dead. That was it. I was like, this man's not getting up from this.
He literally pops up. It's impressive. And I don't know. The Bills were due for a game like that. It didn't bother me too much. I think the Ravens really are one of the 2 or 3 best teams in football right now.
Just changing gears.
We just got out of a big jam behind me. You didn't let me know about that.
Oh, thank God.
Just ended the 4th.
I have a question. If you are 0-4 in a fantasy league, do you just give up on the team, and do I just start a guillotine league right now and have everybody join in the multiple leagues I'm in? I think I could fill like 14 slots right now.
How many leagues are you 0-4 in?
I am 0-4 in one league, and that is with our mutual friend, the lawyer. Our team, Meg, is not doing very well. We're 0-4. Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp. Injuries have taken us down, and we're not doing very good.
Yeah,
sad.
Injuries are ravaging football everywhere. The idea of being 0-4, I think all the leagues out there need to have a rule in place, like we do across all of our leagues, Mike, that the last playoff team, the 6th position, gets in on points, not on record. Because so often you're going to have bad luck. You might be scoring a ton of points every week, but the guy you're playing scores 5 more, or he's going off with random Jawan Jennings. So the points should let you in. If you're 0-4, check the points column, and maybe you can still get in on points as time goes on.
Jeremy, right now, I think we scored 45 points on that team yesterday.
Like, is the week over? Do you have any players to
I think it's over. I think it's over for us.
You did draft Christian McCaffrey. Might as well talk about him. It's not very
Sure.
scandalous, but the man apparently now has Achilles tendonitis in both Achilles, both legs. He went to Germany for treatment last week, which is a lot of smart people said you don't go to Germany if you're looking to come back real soon. You go to Germany when you have more questions than answers. And so nothing good is happening with McCaffrey. You're threatening about dropping him in fantasy football. Is that still in play?
Yeah, it's still in play. I asked the commissioner, is it okay to drop him? And then all of a sudden, everybody's doing a bidding war. So I'm like, obviously, somebody wants him. So somebody should be able to.
We may have said too much there. You're allowed to drop him. Let's just leave it at that.
I could trade him away. I just feel like do you remember a few years ago when there were like fantasy insurance companies where you could insure your team, and then if something happened, it would give you your buy-in back for that league because of big injury?
But you should have had that for your survivor pool. If I get eliminated in the first 5 weeks, you have insurance past it. You should have had something
pay
like
me
that
half of my of my buy-in back in or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still around, but I remember like maybe in like 2016, I'm like, oh, I can insure my entire team for like $50 and get my $150 back.
Insuring a fake fantasy team, it just doesn't sound right.
That's what insurance is anyways, right? It's like you never use it, but then when you need it, it's there for you. So sometimes. I don't know. It sounded good.
That's crazy.
All right. Do you want to do hotline, or I got 1 or 2 bullshitter believes, but I also have a stat for you that leads into your apology. Okay, you need to apologize.
We'll save the apology for the end. Make the people hang on for that. Let's do some bullshit or believe. I'd like to hear that. Can I start out? Can I throw out one for you?
Yeah, go for it.
Mike, Jaden Daniels,
yes,
the new quarterback for the Commanders, bullshit or believe, is the best quarterback in the NFC.
Jeremy, I 100% agree with you. I have a stat on my screen right now. I should share my screen with you. It says, "Is Washington the best offensive team in the NFL?" And I have this like little stat line. And without a doubt, they are. I don't know. Can I share I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah.
We are on YouTube. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcast app, that's cool. But we are a video show too, so Mike has visuals.
So here is a little list. If you're looking at this, I know we also have this too from NFL memes. 100,000 people went to Giants and Jets fans game over the weekend, and they saw their team score 0 touchdowns the entire time.
That's a real stat.
That is a real stat.
Oh my God, the Giants played Thursday, the Jets played Sunday, and neither home team scored a touchdown. That is so New York. I'm so mad that their baseball team got in the playoffs today, because that would have been
You can see my scribble scrabble all over here, but look at this. This is passing and rushing efficiency in 2024. And you see over here, the Titans, that makes sense. They're kind of middle of the line. They're not good or bad at anything. Then we have these guys right here, and then look at Washington all the way up here, the best.
Crazy. So you're saying not only is Jaden Daniels the best in the NFC, you're saying he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. The punter has not been out on the field for 2 weeks or something like that.
I know.
So they're doing great. I don't know where it's coming from, but he has the confidence of a vet that's been in the league forever. And I love that I drafted him at least on 1 or 2 fantasy teams. It made me feel like I knew what I was doing. But yeah, they seem like they're the best right now. So I love it. I 100% agree with you.
A star is born. I agree in the NFC. I wasn't ready to say the whole NFL. You took it a step farther than I was.
Whole
He is
NFL.
so efficient with the completion percentage. He's leading the NFL in completion percentage. He was at like 89% last week, and then he
Yeah.
went to 90% against the Cardinals. He got even better, which is crazy. I was fading him this week because they played on the road at Cincinnati Monday, then at Arizona 6 days later on Sunday. I was like,
I know.
that's too much for any normal person, especially a rookie. He dominates both games, especially on offense. I love what I'm seeing from them. And it's scary Terry and Eckler. It's not like he has all these weapons. It's like a couple
Yeah.
guys.
It is kind of crazy. Yeah. You don't even know what's going on. Like half the time you're like, who's he throwing to? Like I couldn't name other
They,
receivers.
they
on
do have
that
a
team.
secret weapon though. Cliff Kingsbury, remember the head coach
Yeah.
from Arizona? He went to was he in Thailand or something like that for a while?
Oh
But
yeah, you
then-
like took a little time off. Yeah.
because he was getting paid that whole time. But then it was like I have to come
Yeah.
back and coach. He couldn't stay forever, and now he's the offensive coordinator for Jaden Daniels. So they have a little thing going.
Yeah, did you see the post game interview with like Dan Quinn and gave the game ball to
To
Cliff
Kingsbury.
Kingsbury? Yeah,
I
that
should
was
have known.
cool.
Like Kingsbury knows the book on Kyler. He could have
I
given
know.
them all the info to just shut down Kyler.
I didn't
Kyler
even
had a
think
bad
about
game.
that. That was not on the betting
How's that
scouting
not in the
report.
manifesto? We have so many things in there.
I know. Listen,
Former
this week is.
OC goes back, or former head
I know.
coach goes back to play the quarterback. He meant to.
I know it's tough. The only other one that I had, bullshit or believe, is Lamar Jackson a fraud? And even in last night,
What?
even though they won, yeah, even though
I
they
just said
won,
they're
I
the
still
best team in the league. What are you talking about?
no Lamar Jackson. I don't think Baltimore is the best team in the league. I don't think Lamar. I think he's up and down. I think the way he plays is kind of. I don't know. When you watch it, it's like, okay, you got Derrick Henry. Like, you're not going to stop Derrick Henry. Like, that man's
Yeah.
just bowling through people,
By the way, that
scoring
man
left
is
and right.
faster than I thought. Right? Like that
Yeah.
man was outrunning corners down the field
Yeah.
last night.
It was wild. But it's weird. He's such a big guy. He doesn't look fast, but then when people are coming by and he's just like shoving them down, you're like,
Yes.
damn, you're pretty fast.
I don't know how anyone tackles him. Like it seems like there'd be
No.
no people on the planet Earth that could actually tackle him, but he gets tackled 20 times a week. I don't know where you're going with this thing on Lamar being
Okay.
a fraud because he won another big game last night. You gave me that stat when he's not favored, he's always covering and winning.
I
So
know.
he's always performing when he's not expected to. I gave you that stat recently. He's so good against the NFC. He's going to win a Super Bowl one day because he doesn't lose to the NFC. If he just gets to the Super Bowl, he's not going to lose it if he can ever get past Mahomes and Burrow. So I think you're way off base with this one. Bullshit.
Okay. Well, we'll see how the season goes, but just watch him when he plays. I feel like I'm not confident in Lamar Jackson. How about that?
I can tell. I don't know. I mean, he's running the ball in the goal in the red zone. It's like great to call QB runs for him, but I want to keep him healthy in between the 20s. I don't know. I liked what I saw from the Ravens.
We'll see how the
last
season
night.
goes. That's all I got for that. I got a lot of Hangover Hotline. I got bets. You got any more bullshit or believe? I know.
No,
I know you
look-
got a thrilling game behind you right now. It's 0-0 or something.
It's 1-0. The Braves are threatening. 71% on the win probability. So once it gets to 90, they're going to lose. That's how much I know about
Okay,
so far
great.
today. A few J Dog takes on just real quick for you, Mike, and then
Yeah.
we'll get to my apology. The Jets, I just want to keep reminding people how right I am about the Jets. The Jets suck. Their franchise sucks. Aaron Rodgers sucks. He's old. Last time we saw him yesterday on the sideline, he had a towel over his face. He
know.
was so sad and depressed. Right before that, he was limping off the field. Do we have an Achilles MRI going on this week? Is that man healthy because he was limping off the field? Like you said, they didn't score a touchdown against the Broncos. You've been betting against the Broncos multiple times this year.
I
It doesn't
know.
always work out, but you know they're not very good unless they are. They shouldn't have shut down the Jets like that yesterday.
Did you see? I think there was a stat. It was like, I think Bo Nix completion percentage, like yard wise, was like 2.5 yards per completion attempt. So it's like he throws the ball 2.5 yards.
We watched football yesterday, Mike, and in the first
Yeah.
half, after the first half, at halftime, you went out to the hot tub. When you went out to the hot tub at halftime, he had -7 passing yards.
I know it's not good. I was watching the hot tub. I was enjoying quad
You guys
box.
changed the
right?
mojo out there because you were the Broncos fan, and then boom, you go out for the second half, boom, Broncos win.
Yeah. Well, I have Broncos over 5.5. Once they hit, they're getting so close, and it's only 4 weeks in, so I'm
2-2.
pumped for the season.
Bo Nix, by the way, he had 55. I got to keep reminding you of this. He had 55 college football starts. Anthony Richardson had 12. We are seeing the difference here. We are seeing Bo
yeah.
Nix figure it out, sloppy but winning, and Thick Rich, they won that game, but not because of Thick Rich, it's because of Joe Flacco, the backup. And now it's like they're saying Richardson is not that hurt, yet they won't commit to Richardson starting. So it's like we have a QB controversy already in Thick Rich's career.
All right, let's get to your apology here. I'm gonna pull up the screen. We also have this is more Hangover Hotline we're gonna get to, but I'm gonna give you the stat real quick. Where is it? It's right here. Look at this. Highest pass rating over the first 25 career starts. You have Patrick Mahomes, Kurt Warner, and then Brock Purdy right
that
there.
real?
And I
Is
just
that a
want
real
you. That's a real stat. I want you to issue an apology to the Brock Purdy fans. I have never seen a fan base.
What am I apologizing for? Let's read some of these, right?
Well, yeah. So, this is about Caleb Williams. Where are some?
Basically, I went on a rant on Brock Purdy recently, and I was correct. Like, without McCaffrey, he's not scoring points, and all of our listeners got very upset. I didn't know we had so many San Francisco-based listeners, Mike. I didn't know we had so many Niner fans in the comments, but they all were standing up for Purdy. All I said was, if only they had a Sam Darnold to lead them to the playoffs, and people got so upset about it.
It was like you just, I don't even know. It almost seemed like we were funneling our podcast only into the Bay Area and all these people, they're literally having conversations on our YouTube channel about this comment that you made. Like, it's threads and threads and threads of people commenting, be like, you know what, you're right, blah, blah, blah. They're like putting stats in there. I just got the first few comments from my email and I only just put this one in. And this kind of explains most of what we heard in there. Is like, just what on earth are you blabbing about? Most of them were, we don't know ball, you don't know what you're talking about. And then people today commented even more and said, what about last night?
They circled back, like they bookmarked the video to come back to it after you beat the Patriots as a 10.5-point favorite at home. Like, that's supposed to be crowning his ass. Brock Purdy's not getting crowned on this podcast, Mike, especially not from me. And these listeners need to listen to what's going on here. The Niners will not win a playoff game with Brock Purdy as a quarterback this season, because McCaffrey ain't walking through that door. Deebo Samuel's barely walking through that door. And you will not be the dominant team that you think you are. We just talked about the Commanders having the best offense in the NFC. I just told you the Vikings are a force to be reckoned with. These are led by Sam Darnold and Jaden Daniels. These are legitimate quarterbacks. Brock Purdy is not that. And you can give me all this bullshit about his stats because he's in a Shanahan system, because he dumps it off to McCaffrey on screens, and he holds the ball for 10 seconds because Williams is blocking as the best left tackle in the world, or Jordan Mason, or Debo, or Ayuk, or Jennings, or Kittle, or every single weapon that he has that Jaden Daniels doesn't have, that Sam Darnold doesn't have, that Brock Purdy is actually legit, is bullshit. And every Niner fan is blind to it. Kyle Shanahan is blind to it. John Lynch is blind to it. And these people need to watch the games instead of asking me if I know ball. Because, Mike, we've been around a long time. And we've dished out some takes. We know ball.
Yeah. We know ball for sure. I agree. We know ball. Listen, it's just the eye test. We're looking, we're watching, and that's what you think. Yeah. Listen, I still love Brock Purdy from last year. I think this year I'm a little more down on him. Yeah. But listen, it's only the beginning of the season. I'm still flustered from losing my survivor pool, so I'm still getting over that. So it's still coming too.
We're all flustered for different reasons. I'm not apologizing for that. We'll see if I'm right. They play the Chiefs in 2 weeks, I think, so that's a huge matchup for Brock. Yeah. But like I said, McCaffrey's not even in North America, so I don't know when he's coming back.
We also have a couple comments. We put out a video, say Caleb Williams will be the biggest bust in years. A lot of people did not agree with us, and they say, you don't know what you're talking about. Literally, there's only been 2 games. This was last, people are commenting forever on these videos. Like, even today, people are commenting. Shows why our podcast is doing so bad, because we have bad takes like this.
They don't have our analytics. Why are they saying that?
You people that is calling him a bust played and don't know what you're talking about. Just because you sit in your room and play Madden doesn't make you Jimmy the Greek. That's
Do you know who Jimmy the Greek is, by the way?
I actually don't know who Jimmy the Greek is.
Jimmy the Greek, Mike, should be one of your role models. He was one of the first people to popularize sports gambling on TV. In like the 1970s, he was giving out like handicap picks for football games, and he was like the first person to ever give picks on CBS.
Well, what a compliment.
Yeah, we are Jimmy the Greek. We really are. That's a great compliment. I love the idea, by the way, this was one of my takes this weekend, that for 2 years in a row, the number 2 quarterback taken in the NFL draft will be better than the number 1 quarterback taken in the NFL draft. You think as NFL fans, we're the ones who don't know anything. All these comments should be directed at NFL GMs and NFL decision makers. They're the real ones who don't know anything. The way the Panthers gave it all up for Bryce Young and pass on CJ Stroud, the way the Bears went all in on Caleb Williams, and even think about Jaden Daniels, who we all think looks better through a few weeks. It's just crazy how the NFL decision makers don't know shit either.
I keep seeing the New York Giants, the Hard Knocks over the season, where it was like the GM version of it. Yeah. And the GM is asking his kids, who should we draft? And he says, draft Jaden Daniels. Like, you should just do it. You have this job one time. And obviously didn't listen to him, didn't draft Jaden Daniels.
But now they paid Daniel Jones instead.
Yeah, they paid Daniel Jones. It's kind of crazy. One last one. We had Anthony Richardson is overrated. And this guy commented, Favre would break fingers. He also threw a lot of picks with 2 differences. He threw even more touchdowns and he won. So this guy kind of agreed with the Anthony Richardson take, which I appreciate. It's a long-winded. People really, you know what I say? On YouTube, people are really like hateful. On TikTok, people are more like responsive. They're like, yeah, you know what? Give us more time. They were nicer on TikTok. Our TikTok comments are a lot nicer. So these are the YouTube ones. YouTube people are not. They'll like type out a whole paragraph to you.
We
and
love
let you know
paragraphs. We love being criticized. We love being made fun of. Bring it on, honestly.
Yeah.
We love it all. We'll read it. We'll laugh about it on our group threads. We'll do all that.
That's great.
As you make these. Before we go, Mike, I have another stat for you. I know you've been sharing lots of stats here.
Yeah.
Did you know that in 2023, OnlyFans creators made more money than all NBA players combined? $6.6 billion. I saw that stat.
So crazy.
Just so impressive. The NBA, you think they're impressive? The impressive stars of our generation are actually on OnlyFans right now.
Jeremy, I would say you could get on there with your feet, but your feet are all fucked up right now, so you can't.
Is that a genre? A fucked up feet?
You know what? It probably could be. Honestly, it is crazy. It's like all the time you hear these crazy businesses or things that are making a lot of money, and no one even talks about it. No one's like in the real world saying like they're going to do this. Literally, you can go on there, get naked, and make $1 million a year. Who knows? Maybe we'll try it out one day. Maybe we'll be the Sports Hangover naked, and we'll just make millions of dollars naked talking about sports.
$6.6 billion by creators, like that is insane. It's like prostitution making $6 billion in a year. I don't know. It's like OnlyFans might be the most profitable thing going.
It's crazy. Right, sex sells. That's what does it.
We knew that 14 years ago on this show.
I know we should have got into it earlier. I have some early leans. I know it's Monday. I know you're watching your game. I'm going to go over my early picks for this weekend.
Okay.
Not strong. I'm not confident what is going on so far. I don't know how we went like 4-1.
You said it in the open, by the way. I just want to mention like all these upsets are happening, making betting so hard. The offenses were struggling through the first few weeks, but we saw an influx of passing and offense yesterday. I felt like in week 4 finally. So maybe the offenses are catching up as we predicted. So it's like offense start catching up. Maybe going forward, the upsets aren't as prevalent if things start to make more sense. Could be.
We'll see. My first game. Colts at Jags. Jags are favored by 2.5. They are 0-4. I'm leaning the Jags right now. Listen to this stat. This is a great stat. We've had this on the docket for a long time. Colts have never won a game in Jacksonville since for 8 years, basically. Some of them are home openers.
Normally it's week 1. This is an October game. I don't know if that changes anything for you.
I don't know. I'm just going off my stats here. I don't know. I don't have basically it's like I'm blind in the woods somewhere and I don't really have a feel for what is going on in the gambling world. I feel lost right now. I feel really lost.
Well, that's the first step is admitting it, right? And then you can go from there going forward. I like that bet to start because it's Joe Flacco. We're betting on Joe Flacco with that bet.
No. We're betting on the Jags.
Oh, I don't like that. I'm betting on Joe Flacco.
Okay. Giants at Seattle. Seattle's playing tonight. We don't know how they're going to perform, but I'm taking Seattle -6. I don't like what's going on in New York. They seem sloppy. They seem like a mess. Will Daniel Jones still be there next week? We don't know. But I'm leaning Seattle -6. Hopefully they show up and play really well against, I think they're playing Lions tonight, right?
They are. They're in Detroit. Short week. They're landing in Seattle on Tuesday. They're playing a game on Sunday against the Giants. But thankfully it is the Giants, and they should take care of them because Danny Dimes is no good. No good. Arizona at San Francisco. I'm taking the division dog, Arizona +7.5. You really are fading Brock Purdy this year. I love to see that.
No. I'm not fading him. I'm just saying this is division dog. And I do feel like, do you think New England kind of hung around a little bit? They were scoring points. They had like 10 something points.
You know, all 30. Those games were so bad in the 1 o'clock window yesterday. I just went to Chargers Chiefs full. I bailed on the other 3. It's like Browns Raiders. I can't watch that.
You just bailed on it.
Okay. Chargers Chiefs was tight. It was Nance and Romo. Yeah. It was kind of a nice time. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I should do that. I never just like commit to a game. I'm like, I'll just watch it all.
When it's Watson and Minshew on there, we can do better.
I'm taking your Miami Dolphins, depending on how they play tonight with Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
They're -1 on the road in New England.
Yeah,
this is division.
Week. You're really doing that.
Short week. This is all based on how Huntley plays in the next hour. Basically, if I'm going to continue this.
I'm excited for it, honestly. I mean, the Skylar Thompson era needs to be over. He's a goon who has never played quarterback in his life, it appears, until he comes out for the Dolphins. Huntley was a Pro Bowler. Huntley filled in admirably for Lamar. He can scramble. I'm excited for the Tyler Huntley era. We'll see how it goes.
Last bet, Raiders in Denver. Denver is -2.5 favorite. Denver isn't a great team. The Raiders aren't a great team, but I'm doing division dog
No.
on the road.
No.
No.
Devontae Adams will be out again. I don't like that.
They played
like
they played well against Cleveland.
You know what it turns out, though? Jacksonville's the worst team in the league and Cleveland's second worst. That's what I figured out by all the round robin stuff. I've already figured it out. Yeah, Jacksonville's the worst because they can't beat anyone. Cleveland can't beat anyone except Jacksonville. So those are the two worst. Maybe Las Vegas is third worst, but they're no worse than third worst.
So where are the Raiders?
Las Vegas Raiders. They are Las Vegas.
No, I know. Where are where are they in the rate? They're third worst?
Third worst, yeah, because they can beat everyone except Cleveland. They can't beat anyone except Cleveland and Jacksonville. This might not make sense, but it's my logic.
It doesn't make much sense, but I know Denver at home is pretty good in September. We'll see how it goes, but I'm going division dogs. Dogs are covering. You could blindly bet the dogs, and you'd win. So maybe do that this week. Maybe
I think it's going to
say
change. I'm telling you, I think it's going to change. I think we are normalizing into October. September was weird. It is our last day of September. We had less training camp practices than ever, as mandated by the CBA. We had less preseason games than ever. We had less preseason action from all these guys. It took September to be okay for all the offenses. And now in October, you're going to see Burrow rolling. You're going to see Lamar rolling. You're going to see Tyler Huntley rolling. All the stars will get going in October.
We'll see tonight. You got a big night ahead of you. You got baseball on, rolling right into.
Oh, man. Mets have two guys on. You didn't even tell me.
I don't know what's going on there. Check out thesportshangover.com. We got all our hoodies, swag up there. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Tell your friends, subscribe to us. Comment if you'd like. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, even Twitter now. Full shows are going on Twitter. Our clips are going on Twitter if you want to comment over there. No comments on X right now. People are pretty tame on X, which I kind of appreciate a little bit.
Not like on the whole site, just on our clips.
Not on the whole site, just on our content right now. It is.
I would never say
tame,
X is tame in general.
But it's a good place. There's full videos up there too. So I know they're trying to do some
we incorporated lots of video
in
our show today too. So if you're only listening, again, you're kind of like missing out on a video experience.
Yeah, and you're traveling around. You get to see different hotel rooms that Jeremy's in.
Yeah, every week.
Every single time. All right, see ya. Good show.